Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back again. I've just posted the previous card breakdown, which is Holloway and Qatar. I'm now going to do Chiesa and Magny. So it's literally one, then the next. I'm banging them out. These two cards, one after another, nice and quick. Not in a negative way, of course. I don't want to feel like I'm coming across as negative. I'm just popping these out there nice and fast for everyone to join in. As always, like before, thank you all for tuning in live and commenting. You're watching this one, do the same again, okay? So I'm just going to quickly jump on the social media here, pause that in. There we go. It's all working. That's what I like to see. What I'm going to do is quickly share this on the social media stuff, let people know that we're live for the second podcast, and let them all know. So here we go, breakdown predictions. Here we go. It's live now. Join in. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to do a hashtag here, UFC Fight Island. Gosh, there's that many Fight Islands these days. Here we go, UFC Fight Island. Let's go to that one. 8. There's that many of them. Okay, so like I said before, join in below with your predictions. Let me know who you're picking. Let me know what you're thinking about the fight card, all that stuff I want to know, because I care what you guys are all picking on your cards. I'd love to know who you think is going to win in this upcoming card. There's some great fights on the Chiesa and Magny card as well. There's some absolute stellar matchups, and there's some not so many stellar matchups. But let's have a look here. So, where are we here? So I'm going to go to this here, share that one. Pow, pow. There we go. I'm going to do one more time. That's 4%. I wonder if I can get the last bit of percentage out of this phone. Go on, go on. That's what I get for not typing up my phone. There we go. Sorted. Done. So, like I said, posting done now. We are now live, and we're about to kick off. The Neil Magny is going to take on Michael Chiesa in a fight which I think is a wonderful matchup for the welterweight division. The two guys in a great position, but we've also got a handful of other cards which have been moved around from the fight card prior to this one. So it's been a bit of a mix-up, but it's a stacked card. Let's say it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Lincoln Norris, another stat card on Wednesday evening. I won't be able to watch it because I'll be in bed. No, I won't. Do you know what? I might actually stay up for that card. So here we go. I'm literally just going off again. Just going off the Wikipedia list of fights that I have. Of course, it's always subject to change. It's not in the set order, so feel free to have a go if you wish to. But I'm going to do my best to go through this card and break it down. Now, because there are so many fights, I might not go super in-depth on it. I have watched as many fights as I can on every guy and girl in the time scale that I had. So we're going to kick off with Sergey Morozov. Sergey Morozov against Uman Nurmagomedov. Or Uman Nurmagomedov. Again, I like the matchup here. It's a fantastic little fun bout to watch. It's something that I will certainly enjoy watching from a bantamweight perspective. You've got two talented strikers, and you've got, like you say, the brand, let's say the brand name of the Nurmagomedov family. He is a tremendous talent, as we all know. His Mr. Khabib, but we also have now the younger one in Uman. Now, for me, Uman is really good on the feet. Like, he's got wonderful combinations, nice crisp striking, mixes it up well. I like what he does. He's got the grappling aspect as well. I watched stuff from the PFL promotion called GFC as well. I'm not sure what the GFC stands for. Obviously Fight Club, I assume, but I'm not sure what the G is. Local kind of Russian promotion. He's fought around different ones, but I thought, as a whole, I was impressed with what he can do. I thought he's confident on the feet, happy to stand and throw with his opponents, as well as leaving the grappling exchanges as late as possible, really. I feel like he only kind of initiates the grappling side of things as a last resort, but I do feel like he's still grown on the strike, and he does get caught a couple of times, but not as much as I thought he would have. I thought he would have been far more susceptible to be getting striked. He would have should have. He should have made his UFC debut a while back. In fact, last year against Hunter Azure, but the fight got cancelled due to coronavirus. And then he was meant to fight Nathaniel Wood, and then Nurmagomedov had to withdraw, and then because obviously the father passed away, and then he was meant to fight Sergey here. Back in October, then he pulled out because of illness. So it's been almost like a long time coming for him to get back in the fight game. So Uman Nurmagomedov, there's going to almost be a bit of a weight on his shoulders, let's say, an air of expectation because of what Khabib has done in the UFC. So I don't know how much he feels of it or if he even notices it. He is 12-0 himself in his professional career. So he's got that undefeated kind of thing on his head. His brother stayed undefeated, retired. So I don't know if he wants to maybe get to equal to his brother. I don't know if he even wants to get equal to Khabib's record of 29, or he just wants to get to a simple case of get to the best, be the best, and retire. I don't know. I think Sergey here is a good opponent. He's a tough opponent as well. Tough out. He's had a great warm up to the UFC by fighting on one of the better promotions in the world called M1 Challenge. Again, me and Will have mentioned it a few times. There's some top guys that come out of there. If you've not checked out M1 Challenge, go out there and check it. It's something you worth want to watch. They've got some of the greater guys out there in the kind of MMA scene. One thing I thought, though, was Sergey. He was hittable in his fight, very hittable. He actually lost his fight against a guy called Luan Fernandez, which was back in 2017. It was a fight that I watched. He was getting rear naked choked. He cheated in a way that was obscene by grabbing the ropes to stop himself getting pulled down so that Fernandez could finish the choke. And the referee didn't even really do much to stop that. I was very put off by that because I noticed that he does stuff like that a few times to get around it. That was one of the things at M1 Global I feel could adjust with the ring, adjust how it's laid out, and then we could go into that a bit better in the future. But, you know, we lost to Avulev as well, who ragdolled him. But then he fought a few fights outside after that. You know, the Josh Rettinghouse was one that he got one back on. He got stopped by Rettinghouse prior in his career, fought him again, got a decision win. With the fact that he's a bit hittable, he's okay with the grappling, but I feel here Uman should be able to get the stronger grappling. He should get the fight on the feet under his belt. He should be able to hit Sergey a bit often, and if he wishes to, finish the fight on the ground. I'm going Uman on this one. I think he should get a win here all day long. I think he's too talented. There's too much potential with him. I've got this all day long. All day long. Next up is a fight that I'm a bit torn on. It's been moved. Omari Akhmedov against Tom Breeze. Heavyweight contest with two guys who are on different careers at the moment because Tom Breeze, he has got probably one of the better boxing in the UFC. He's probably got great cardio, great hands, power, the physique for it, everything. You've got Akhmedov, who's tough as an ox, one round and done, short strikes, very hittable. But one of the issues you have with Tom Breeze is what Tom Breeze comes to the cage. He has not got the mental capacity sometimes to go out there and perform to his best. He beats himself up, anxiety, performance-related issue with that stuff. He gets himself down. So we get torn on this one. What is the Tom Breeze we're going to see? Who are we going to see in that cage? I worry with Tom Breeze when I see him fight. I think, man, he could be levels above what he is. He could be beating the bricks off someone like Chris Weidman, who just beat Akhmedov. I'm going to go with Tom Breeze, though, because I think I've got to believe in the skill set. I can't go always with mindsets, and Tom Breeze is one of those guys with a mindset that you got to be worried about. He's got the likes of Leon Edwards, Fabian Edwards, all those top talented guys, Jared Herbert, all these top-level guys around him. I feel that this fight is ideal. Tom Breeze just needs to keep Akhmedov at the end of his punches, circle away, use the footwork, straight all day, and you will pick this guy apart. Akhmedov is going to charge with an array of kind of over-looping shots to try and land, and that is it. He's not overly grappling based. He's not grappling based in particular or anything like that. I think it's a really nice setup for Tom Breeze to get a decision win here and really land those strikes better. But I'm going to go with Tom Breeze on that one. Next up we have is a fight which I've looked at as well, which was Victoria Leonardo against Manon Fiorot. I'm going to say Fiorot. Two ladies who fight in the women's flyweight division. Leonardo is very grappling. She's very good, heavy grappling based. Wants to get the grappling fight going. Likes to grapple the girls. Get that started straight away. She is a girl who's fought on Invicta FC, which is a great kind of place to get you going. She's fought on Dana White Contender Series where she beat Chelsea Hackett. She got TKO there. She did get stopped by Erin Blanchfield, who's a girl. If you haven't looked already, she is a talented young fighter. I feel like she could in this year or next year be potentially UFC bound. I think Erin Blanchfield's got a lovely little skill set and array of power that she could really start to put problems on some of the girls in that division. So she is heavy based on the grappling aspect of things, Victoria. If she doesn't get the takedown, she doesn't get that going, she's going to have a bit of a rough time in the fight. And I feel that Manon, powerful straight hand, she's got a nice straight punch. She can get sloppy with the punches, though, where that's when it opens up to Victoria to potentially get the fight grappling aspect to the ground. I think Magny needs to get the fight on the feet, avoid the takedowns, circle away, use footwork, and keep it like that. But watching her fights, in the fights that I've been able to look at, and also you've got to look at some of the opponents she was fighting, the standard and level of some of the girls they will fight. It's a little bit tough sometimes. She did fight this, she fought on this, it's called The Fighter. It's called The Fighter. It's like the Ultimate Fighter, but not in the UFC, basically. It's like a little promotion. There was a load of women in it. She fought Cornelia Holm, who's a really good fighter herself. She's already starting off in her career. Their class is exhibition bouts, so they don't affect the records. Don't get it, don't understand. But she did go out there. She fought EFC. She fought UAA Warriors. I want to go towards Minot on this one. I think that she's got the hands and the power to hurt Victoria, and I think Victoria's there to be hurt. If you can stop her getting to the ground, she gets in a bit of a trouble herself and gets in a bit of a bind. I think Marion Fiorot, I believe it's pronounced, it's French, so I ain't going to say it right. I think she can get the W here. I think she can actually stop Victoria Leonardo in this one. I'm going that way. Next up we have a fight is Mike Davis against Mason Jones. I haven't watched Mason Jones' tape study because I've been watching him forever. Anyway, on the regional scene, he's in part of the UFC, Cage Warriors kind of division. Mike Davies, Mason Jones. That's a tough fight, Mike Davies, for anyone. I think for a debut fighter. I don't want to say that's a mean fight, but that's a tough one. Mike Davies is a good fighter. He's a good all-rounder. He's got a good skill set. He can hit. He can grapple. He can do a little bit of everything. He came in, bless himself, short notice and fought Gilbert Burns. Got stopped. Not surprised. I don't think anyone was surprised there. Sadiq Youssef, he got the decision loss in Dana White Contender Series. Again, that was a fight itself, which was not easy for him to get done, but he had that as well. So, he's not had he's not had easy fights. Let me just pause that there. Get that going. There we go, guys. He's not had easy fights at all. So he's had some tough outings himself. But for me, though, I feel that if I'm Mike Davis, I want to try and get grappling involved in the fight. I want to try and wrestle this Mason Jones, see what Mason Jones is made of Van Mike Davies. Mason Jones on the feet, though, he will take a punch to get at you. He is a bit hittable for my liking, Mason Jones, he's shown. But one thing he hits and he hurts guys. He went up a division in Cage Warriors to fight a guy for the welterweight title there, become a champ, because Adam Proctor is no joke and no pushover, and he stopped him in the first round with some powerful strikes. John McLaughlin stopped him with striking in the first round. He's shown a level of striking and a level of determination. He's had decision wins. He's had everything. He's just went through all of that stuff and shown a great progression. And every time he fights, he doesn't ask for easy fights. If you look at his record when he signed up to Cage Warriors, everyone he fought was, apart from one opponent, had a better record than him. One opponent had a 1-on-1 and he was 3-0. Everyone else has always had a great. He was 4-0 when he fought 9-4. He was 5-0 when he fought 8-1. 6-0 when he fought 12-4. 7-0 when he fought a 12-5, which was Alexei Mantikov, who was a very, very dangerous opponent, and everyone was a bit. That was a big question mark about him, and that answered it tenfold. Then you had John McLaughlin step in, who was also 6-2-1, which is a short notice one. But then you had Adam Proctor, uber big talent, big welterweight, showed no problems. I'm going to go Mason Jones on this one. I just have to pick Mason Jones. I think he's got the hands for it. I think he's got the power for it. I think Mason Jones is a dangerous guy to face. I think he's got skill set everywhere. His missus is like a taekwondo savage, so he practices his leg kicks and dexterity a lot with her. He's an uber big talent, great guy to speak to. I've interviewed him a lot. I wasn't able to reach him before this fight card, but I'm buzzing to see how he does in this fight. And next we have in the flyweight division, which is a interesting matchup. We have Jerome Rivera against, here we go, I want to say this now, Francisco Figueiredo. There we go. Got out in one go. Come on, me. Pat myself on the back. So we have a matchup here. Let me get to these guys' notes because like I say, I brought too many notes. And there's so many fights. It's a nightmare to keep on top of. Here we go. Where are you? That's the McMahon fight. That's the Leonardo. That's Dalcha one. Perez. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, that fight. Yeah, so Jerome Rivera, he got absolutely sparked by Tyson Nam. There you go. That was it. So that reminds me. So he got stopped in that one. One of the Dana White contenders, he was against a good opponent in Luis Rodriguez, who in my opinion was good. But he's a guy who's fought in the LFA for such a long period of time. And he fought tough opponents there. LFA is one of the better regional shows to get on. Good chance to get to the UFC as well. But when he fought the likes of Roberto Sanchez and Brendan Royval, he came up a little bit short. You got Francisco Figueiredo, on the other hand, who I like the look of him as well. He's lost a couple of decisions in his time. He lost to John Lineker way back in 2011. And this is one of the things that kind of stuck to me. He started his career back in 2009, and he's now 11-3-1. So that's only 15 fights he's had. 15 fights in 11 years. So that average, you're hitting those averages of one a year. I don't see the consistency. He beat Victor Leonardo in 2017 and Dos Santos in 2018, and then he hasn't fought since. And then he fought a draw against De Souza in 2019, which I watched the fight. I do see why they can say it as a draw. I thought that Figueiredo's got good. He's not got bad head movement. He does move his head well. He's got decent striking on him. I feel like he's a bit low on the output on what he should be. I think he should be putting more out there, being more offensive, more forthcoming with the striking side of things. He's fighting a guy in Rivera who's kind of eager to go forward and strike. He's eager to kind of get those strikes out there and get that fight to the ground and get those submissions going. The battle of grappling. If Rivera can get a fight to the ground, I feel like he'll have a good chance of getting the win here. I think Figueiredo, for me, sometimes I feel like he just doesn't put enough out there in the fights. I feel like he almost feels like he coasts it a little bit too much. He can maybe put a stamp down and win fights a lot easier. The Santos fight, he got a W there, put the TKO over, and the Leonardo one. But then there's that one against Souza where I thought he just wasn't doing enough in that fight to get the W. I just couldn't get my head around it. And when I watched it, I was surprised the UFC signed him on the back of that, really. I feel like that maybe he was just coasting it, not caring. I'm not 100% sure. But it's one of them ones where he's got talent in him, Figueiredo, but he might have that attitude and mindset where he turns up one day, doesn't turn up the other, and he just coasts it. I'll go Rivera. He might, I haven't even looked at the odds. He might even be favourite here, Figueiredo, but I'm going to go Rivera. I feel like he's hittable, but if he puts the effort and the time in to get this decision, he can maybe get a decision win here where Figueiredo's a bit slow getting off to get that win. But he has got good head movement, Figueiredo, so Rivera's got to be wary of that. I'm just trying to get the fight to the ground and get submission going. He hasn't fought since September when he got stopped by Nam, so hopefully that, we're in September, October, November. Yeah, for 4 months till he fights, so that's a good amount of time to have off before he goes into some striking again. So I like that from Rivera. Young kid as well. But that's that fight going on. Next up we have is Marcus Perez against Dalcha Lungiambula. Dalcha going down to middleweight. That is the biggest thing everyone's looking forward to. Like, how does he look at middleweight? Does he do what Kania did, go down and just look better and better? Does he look fantastic? Does the weight cut kill him? He's a one-shot kind of guy. He's a one round and done, power and hooks, and that's it. Perez, he was stopped in his last fight, but he can get drawn in, Perez, let's say, to fights that doesn't need to be drawn into. The dude could outgrind him. He could 100% get this fight, get it to the ground, and just grind it out. He lost the Turman fight and the police fight. I think Dalcha is one of those ones where if you just fight right against him, you should be able to outwit this guy. Use your footwork, stay out of range, let him miss, engage some grappling, get those arms gassing, and then start applying your game plan. Because he's just a unit. He's just a tank. Ankalaev did the right thing, picked him apart from range, and that was it. He's pick him, and there you go. You're done. Pick him like pulled pork. Outside that, he lost EFC. He fought the right guys, got the wins, got the stoppages. He beat Daquan Townsend, who I mentioned in the last podcast. He wasn't that great. I don't think much about him. Third round stoppage. Surprised he got to the third round to stop him with the ground and pound stuff. But I think if you can just be smart with this fight, I think Perez should and could win this fight. But I just don't. I'm stuck. Does Perez look good or does he look poor at 185? I'm going to go with. I'm still stuck on it because I think Doucher looks. I'm going to go with Doucher on this one. I think if Doucher can come out right and look good in this fight, he can maybe stop Perez. Knowing that Perez got stopped in his last fight as well, is there a chance that he could be getting stopped now? Is there a chance that he's a bit more hittable? Do I go with Perez or do I go with Doucher? I'm going to put faith in Doucher to see how he looks at 185. Cardio might help him there. He might look better. Who knows? It's a tough one, that one. Flyweight division. Now, this one is, I've seen on social media, I don't see people are kicking off, but it is a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a joke, like the way this fight has been made. But we've got a fight on our hands anyway. We've got Sue Mudragia against, I'm killing these names, aren't I, guys? Zarakov Adashev. Adashev is like, dude, he's 3-2. He like jumped in to fight Tyson Nam short notice, missed weight. He's a glory kickboxer. So he has got that credentials in him, and that's something he has. You've got a guy here in Mujiri who beat Malcolm Gordon, who is not very good. I don't think he's UFC worthy. He got absolutely sparked him in his debut. But he beat Andrei Sukhantov, who's a sound enough decision win against. Lost Lewis Smolka in an armbar. Was doing okay in that fight. I don't think it was too bad of a fight. I think he was doing all right, in my opinion. Here we go. So we've got Troy Cougar. Anyone know where I can donate a homeless charity? Feel bad for John. Hey, look, I am a proud homeless man. That's my hobo beard makes me feel bad. Makes me feel good. Yeah, guys. Man, it's it's one where people are talking. It's a write-off. It's laughable. That's the word I've heard as well. It's a laughable matchup. These guys, are fighting each other. It's easy money. It's an easy payday. But MMA, as I know and everyone else knows, it's not like that. You can literally see this fight. I want to go anywhere. But you've got a guy who's a glory kickboxer who was actually, I actually went to go watch some of his glory kickboxing fights because I thought they were, I thought I'd get a bit of an insight into his kickboxing scene. I thought he looked superb in that kind of side of things. I'm just going into, let's see here. Let's go into that one. So, yeah, the glory kickboxing fights, the Sue fight against Lewis Smolka. Lewis Smolka is one of those guys who, if he turns up, he can absolutely do fantastic things. He could. But the problem is, he just doesn't turn up sometimes, and you just get annoyed and frustrated. I certainly do. Anyway, I want to watch him because I think that he's got a bit more about him. This one, though, it's very, very heavy in one way. Sue is a heavy favorite. He's like minus 400 as well. And I can see why, because I think Sue should be able to get the win. He should be able to get the fight to the ground, submission done. He should be able to maybe get the fight better on the feet. I'm going Sue as well, but don't write off a guy who's got a glory kickboxing career under his belt as well. He's done things outside of MMA world, which isn't necessarily linked to it. He's at 19 kickboxing bouts, 16 wins, 10 of them knockouts. That's credentials in itself. I don't have that kickboxing background, so I think that's something to keep an eye out for. So don't be wrote off by it. We have a short notice fight stepping. Ricky Simone was meant to fight someone who I can't remember who it was now, but it was meant to fight someone else. But my memory's just gone on who was meant to fight, but he's got to step in. I feel bad because I think it's a bit of a walk in the park. I watched the guy. He's a good striker. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to try and say his name and murder it as I do as always, folks. So don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad. It's a guy called Giatano Pirello. Yeah, I've got that one. Pirello. He fought Arnold Allen back in the day in Cage Warriors when Arnold Allen's back there. He's fought on a place called European Breakdown. That's the majority of his latest fights have been there. He fought back in the day on AFL, like I say, Cage Warriors, Global Fight Club. He's fought a handful of promotions. He's lost. Tends to be this grappling side of things where he loses and doesn't get the best of. He's won a couple of fights there with his striking. He does have a good striking array. He is good on the footwork, good hit with the strikes. I've saw him land some pretty nice combinations and finish guys with the striking. Some of his opponents, though, haven't been the greatest. They kind of, I don't want to say they've been set up for him, but they kind of favor him to the favor for him. When he fought a guy called Carlos as a veto or something like that, he was a 12-12 guy. He had certain fights that matched up well for him, but he's found a guy in Ricky Simone who I feel Ricky Simone's a beast. He's cardio, grappling, striking. He's got everything you want in there in a guy in a bantamweight. He can hit, grapple heavy. He can hit, swing hard, and close down the distance. I think it's a hard one for Pirello to come into. I think he'll take the dub. I think he'll take the L. He's going to get a loss. I think Ricky Simone's going to go in, take the W, get this fight out of the way, and move on and get back to real fights and get up the ranking. And so go on from there. So I'm going to pick Ricky Simone in this one. Next we have in the flyweight division, Matt Schnell against Tyson Nam. Now, this fight was originally meant to happen a little while back. I think it was meant to happen in December. I think it was. Yeah, it was meant to happen back then. I was still tied up on the fight and who we're going to pick and who to go in this fight. And my decision back then, I had a quick look again at the tape, so just have a quick look at it. Matt Schnell's a guy who I like at flyweight. He looks good at flyweight. He has been stopped every time, though. But he has been stopped twice at flyweight. Sorry, that's the only thing that's kind of worried me a bit. But he's beat the likes of Beltran, Inoue, Schmolka, Espinoza. The Espinoza one was a good, solid win. I thought Espinoza's not a bad flyweight at all. But he's fighting a guy in Nam who's just a veteran, very smart on the feet, good at staying up on his feet. And now he's 37. He's not, I don't know how many fights he's got left, but the dude, he's fought bantamweight twice because of the short notice fight against the guy we just talked about before, Adeshev. That was a bantamweight bout. Then Jerome Rivera, who was a bantamweight bout. But I feel like at flyweight, Tyson Nam maybe, I don't know if that's the best weight class for him. I think for me, Tyson Nam should be a bantamweight. I think he looks a lot better at bantamweight. I think he should stick at bantamweight himself, but it's preference, isn't it? One of the things Nam has is a lack sometimes of output. I think Schnell is there to be hit. I'm going to go with Nam on this one. I think Nam could definitely get the stop and get the stoppage and get the strikes in. Next up, we have huge fight for the guy, British fighter. Laurent Murphy has taken on Douglas Silva de Andre. Big fight here for the guy. De Silva is an ideal matchup for someone like Murphy. The guy's 35 years old. He's went from bantamweight to featherweight. He's sticking up the featherweight division because the weight cuts are a bit tougher now. When he, every year it might feel like it's a bit tougher. He fought Renan Barão. Silva did got the W against Renan Barão, who's was way past his prime. That was back in 2019, though, so he's not fought himself for well over 13 months now. So that can make a difference in De Silva. He got stopped by Peter Yan, stopped by Rob Font. It seems that he has success in some areas, and I think at the featherweight division, he feels a lot more comfortable there. He feels a bit more filled out, but I think that this is where he's going to get a bit caught on size and strength because he looks filled out for himself. I just think that here you got Laurent Murphy. He's got a better advantage. I think Laurent Murphy showed he's got good striking. I think he showed he's got good footwork as well and grappling. If we look at the fight he had against one man who I don't think is as good as he thinks he is, Tugurov, I thought he got a split draw there. I thought he looked great in that fight, the grappling aspect. Ricardo Ramos gets a nice little ground and pound win. Solid win against the solid opponent, Ricardo Ramos. But now he's got to fight a Douglas guy who's got to stand on the feet, bit tough. I think Laurent Murphy here can get the win. I think not only could he maybe get a fight to the ground himself, I think he might be able to outstrike the guy with reach and length, and I think he can really put damage on him. And I think Laurent Murphy's a talented fighter. I think he's got a lot of skill set about him. So Taller fighter. He's got a bit. What's the reach range? So that's 73 for LeBron. What's Douglas's 68? That's a 5-inch reach advantage. Honestly, I do think LeBron's got all the advantages and everything here for him set up to get that W. So I'm going LeBron Murphy on that one. Definitely on this one here. Next up, we have in the women's flyweight division, Roxanne Modafferi, Viviane Ajuru. How do I? Viviane Ajuru has not been not been overly impressed, but I've been happy the way she fights because she's an aggressive fighter. She strikes, she hits heavy. Roxanne Modafferi is Roxanne Modafferi. The girl has not had a 2-win fight win streak since 2017. She has these win one, lose one, win one, lose one. She shouldn't get stopped, but there is a line when you stop when that runs out. And she's just riding that wave as best she can. I think I can't imagine her ever getting a title fight again. Roxanne's done a lot of strength and conditioning. Her physical attributes have changed massively. The Andre Lee fight, she was getting lit up on the feet as always, but she got takedowns. She didn't do a lot with the takedowns when she got on top. And this is where I feel she sometimes falls short, where she doesn't when she gets on top. On the lower level girls, she'll be able to take advantage of the high level girls. I think that's where she might fall short with it. She is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, Viviana, and I think that this is where she can kind of use that to her advantage on the ground. She did lose to Jessica I because I missed weight. So I had that weight advantage, not having to cut herself those extra 5 pounds, which is huge difference. If you know anything about weight cutting, that's massive. She beat Alexis Davis, tough out there. Montana De La Rosa, Vivian there. Don't get taken down by Montana De La Rosa, and you can spark her out on the feet all day and just light her up like Christmas tree. She did exactly that. She's got the power in her. Roxanne Modafferi is going to try and get the fight to the ground. I'd like to see Vivian get the stop of the takedowns, and I think she can get the W here. So I'm actually going to go over to Vivian here, and I think she can get a decision win over this one, but because I think Roxanne's due for a loss anyway because of the lose one, win one. But I'm going Vivian here. I think she can get the fight on the feet landed, but on the grappling aspect, I think she's got a high level of grappling there, so she can really put danger to Roxanne Modafferi. Next up, we have in the light heavyweight division. It's a fight which I think nobody cares about, and I even think Dana White is aching that he has to pay money out for this fight to pay these fighters to go in there. Vinicius Moreira, who is an accomplished fighter in his own right, in regards to grappling. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's about that, really. He just likes to get submissions, and that's about it. You've got an Ike Villanueva, who I don't understand. I think he's just way below the level that's acceptable to get in the UFC, but he's in there anyway. He fought so guys on the regional scene. He beat Rashad Coulter, who went from heavyweight to light heavyweight. He beat him with ground and pound, which is maybe what got him in. When he fought Chase Sherman, he didn't look great, but Chase isn't great either. Jordan Wright, he lost to him with a cut, which was annoying because there's not much he could do about it, and he probably would have stopped Jordan Wright if later on in that fight if he got some strikes in. Mate, I don't think either of these guys are any good. But Moreira just wants to get you down to the ground. If he can get you down to the ground, he's highly likely going to submit Ike. But if Ike keeps on the feet, he's going to get absolutely sparked. So I'm going to go with Ike for the finish here because fights start standing. And I'm going to get Ike with a stoppage here. But don't get me wrong, I could not care less who wins. No one cares about these two guys in the UFC. They're not going to make it. They're not going to do anything in the UFC. Shut them off. Back to the regionals. We don't need to see them guys again. Huge fight up next up in the co-main event. I have here's the co-main event. Wally Alves is taking on Munir Lazi. Now, that's a huge fight, okay? I think that's another change of fight opponents as well. I want to say that is. I could be wrong. But I'm sure that fight was not going to happen. Can I find out there quickly? Bop. No. I don't think that was meant to be the original fight, though. But anyway, Wally Alves is a veteran of the sport. It feels like he's only 30 years old, but it feels like he's been there forever since he's been there 6 years now. But one thing I feel with Alves, he just lacks consistency, turning up all the time. Maximum he gets is 2 fights a year. He lost to Randy Brown. Then Sergio Moraes fight, he got a stoppage there. I wasn't even overly impressed. I think Sergio Moraes was way on his way out then. Like, age was catching up, everything. Sergio was way past his best himself. James Krause just outclassed Wally Alves. He's got that Colby Covington win, which is what he clings on to. But overall, I don't find as much about Wally Alves that's impressive nowadays. I look at his skill set. I just feel like he's not evolved enough. He's not grown enough, in my opinion. He's fighting a guy who's a far more elite striker than he is, far better striker. I think Wally Alves is going to have a rough time with the footwork, keeping in, getting close. Christian Aguilar, that was who it was meant to fight. It was bugging me, that guy's of who was meant to fight. Yeah, I think Wally Alves is going to have a rough outing here because he's a quality striker. He's got lovely footwork, sweet little movement, in and out, literally pops you off with strikes. I think he's a striking coach. I want to see it's Nigeria. It's not Tiger Muay Thai, is it? I'm sure it's Tiger Muay Thai. The guy, he's a striking coach, Tiger Muay Thai, or somewhere like that. Showed in the Al Hassan fight. The dude is great at blocking, moving, parrying punches. He's got wicked clinch work. He's got fantastic combinations. He is a top-level striker. The kind of style you want to fight against this guy is wrestling. You want to get him to the ground. You want to get him off his back, and you want to stop him hitting you. That's all you got to do in that fight with a guy like that. Wally Alves won't do that. He'll try to strike for a bit. I think he'll get outclassed on the feet. I think Alves is possibly going to get stopped and get put to sleep here. I think he'll just get outworked, outmaneuvered, and just outclassed, really. I just don't see where he's going to get that win. I just don't see where he's going to do it in that fight, but that's just what I see in this fight. Let's just quickly go to here, and let's look at... So I'm going to go KO fellas here. I think he's going to stop him. He's going to stop Wally Alves. He's going to put him to sleep, and we'll be picking up Wally Alves off the floor, let's say. But that's just what I'm going with there. Feel free to put your picks down below. Let us know who you're looking at, what you're thinking, what you're picking. Love to know, as always. Me and Will love to know what you guys are going on the bets wise. Co-main event that was. Let's go to the main event of the evening, which is Michael Chiesa. He is back again, stepping in against Neil Magny. I've got to be honest with you. Michael Chiesa had a tremendous outing last time against Rafael dos Anjos. Lovely little name in your cap, especially when you consider that he fought someone like Carlos Condit, Diego Sanchez. Those guys, Carlos Condit was not the peak Carlos Condit 2018. Diego Sanchez 2019 isn't a peak win, but Rafael dos Anjos in 2020, I feel that was a good win. That's a solid win. That's a good win at welterweight, because that was when he really got things going. So then he got earned the right, so to speak, to get himself a guy like Neil Magny. Michael Chiesa is submission-based, as we all know. He likes to get on the ground and submit guys. Neil Magny is the kind of almost polar opposite, likes to stand on the feet and hurt you with his striking. We've seen him get submitted a couple of times. Damian Maia and Rafael dos Anjos now. Don't get me wrong, those two guys are high-level jiu-jitsu practitioners. But Neil Magny has come on leaps and bounds. Apologies, guys. Gustav, there you go. I feel like Chiesa will dominate Magny's start to finish by using his strong wrestling. Nice, bro. Hamlet Pazza. I'm fallow. I'm not Ingles. I would love to know. I'm fallow. I'm no Ingles. I speak English. I'm not English, though. Hamlet, if you could elaborate a bit more, my friend, I would love to help you out a bit more. Gustav and Troy. Oh, gosh, sorry, brother. I didn't mean to miss that. Troy, anyone know? Yeah, thanks for taking that out. Taking the piss out of me. Thank you very much, brother. Gustav, the wrestling, that is one of the issues that I suppose Neil Magny's had an issue with over time. So you don't speak English, Hamlet. I apologize, my friend. I speak about that much Spanish, that much Bulgarian, that much French, that much Manx, and that is about my limit. So I'm a bit pants, mate, with the foreign languages. If I could speak fluent in different languages, I would do a different podcast with different language. I would totally do that. Neil Magny's had the advantage, I want to say, for Rob Lawler, who wanted to stand up and fight. You had Rocco Martin, who stood up and fight. You had Jing Lian, who was another guy who stands up. Jing Lian did go for takedowns, but his takedown isn't that strong. The Ponzinibbio fight where he got picked apart was a different world. You know, last time he fought any kind of grappling aspect was Rafael dos Anjos, or you got your Damian Maia fight and stuff, but that was the kind of guys you get stuck with. It's a 5-round fight. One thing we cannot write off is Neil Magny has got fantastic cardio. Absolutely great cardio. Spanish bro, sorry. Hola Hamlet, me llamo John y tú. And that is, I'm starting to get a bit flaky now. It starts to go, brother. If I could speak Spanish more, I would do that for you, Hamlet. But thank you for tuning in and commenting, okay? Well, Martin, yeah, Williams Martin too. Yeah, Will is not here, my friend. He's tied up because of COVID with work. He can't basically, the shifts that he's working, it's all up in the air. So hopefully Will is back next time. So if you, Will's Scottish, so understanding Scottish is a talent in itself. If you can understand Scottish, you're doing well. So like I say, I think Gustav, you've got a good point there with the Chiesa wrestling. Chiesa's got to keep up for 5 rounds. That's the problem. You know, can he keep wrestling for 5 rounds? Can he keep it going? Can he stop the striking and footwork of Neil Magny where he can maybe step away from him? Use that insane reach that Neil Magny has. We all know he's got a great reach. You know, because look, you got to remember, like, Diego Sanchez ain't known for his takedown defense. We've seen Carlos Condit get taken down a bit of recent years. You know, can guys stop Chiesa getting the fight to the ground? Because Chiesa himself, he likes to win submissions, but he also gets submitted as well. You know, if you think about it, he, like, Pettis and Lee stopped him with submissions. So let's not forget that. And Jorge Masvidal back in the day stopped him with submissions. Joe Lozano got the TKO, Dr. Stoppage on him. But let's not write that off, okay? Let's not just look at that and think that's it. It's not a write-off. It's a hard win. That is a hard win for Chiesa to go 5 rounds with Neil Magny and really put the work in. I'm a bit stuck on it because I think Chiesa, if he gets the fight down early, gets when a bit drier and gets a submission, he could walk away with a lovely little win, pushes him up the rankings. You're laughing all day. But I'm going to be honest with you, brother. I'm going to go with Neil Magny. I think Neil Magny, Gustav, can do 5 rounds all day, every day with a high output. I think Chiesa might struggle with the takedowns every round. I think he might start to gas a bit. He might get put off by the defense of Neil Magny a couple of times because Neil Magny will know that's what he's got to do. So you might see a bit of a wider stance, longer punches, no kicks from Neil Magny, just the hands. I'm going Neil Magny. I think he can get that. I think he can get the decision win, man. I think he can really put a good work, good shift in. So I'm going with Neil Magny on this one. I do like him as a fighter. I think he's a fun guy to watch. So that's that card. That's those fights. But what I'm going to do quickly, guys and girls, jump over to the betting side, just to give you guys a look on the odds. Feel free to jump in if you feel like the odds are off or if you're not happy with it. Chiesa versus Rafael dos Anjos. Chiesa see strong. Yeah, Rafael dos Anjos is a 155er, just like Chiesa. They just didn't do the cut because they want to cut so much. That is his strength side. Maybe Chiesa was just stronger. He is more fit to the 170 division, but Neil Magny's not a small one. Neil Magny could never do 155. We've got to remember that. Neil Magny is a true 155er. Carlos Condit was possibly the biggest guy Chiesa had because you got to look at the Diego Sanchez, another guy who's 155, didn't bother cutting down. So you've got to look at those kind of aspects as well. Like Chiesa's not fought that many true welterweights. So you got to remember Neil Magny's fought true welterweights a lot of the time. I know he got stopped by Rafael dos Anjos, but Neil Magny's a little bit susceptible to the submissions, but I'm going Neil Magny. I feel like he can maybe put that workload in and really get that decision win. 5 rounds for Neil Magny. He's just a cardio monster, man. He's got great conditioning. So that's why I favor towards it. But Hamlet, I agree. Chiesa could 100% turn the lights off on this fight with the chokes and get that W. So like saying in the betting side of things, not much value in this one, but the Majuri against Adeshev, minus 385 for Majiri against plus 310. says a lot. Victoria Leonardo fighting against the Manon one. Leonardo's plus 145 and minus 160 for Manon, which I like those odds anyway. I think they're right. I think Manon 1 minus 160 might be something to look into. Doucher is minus 138 and Perez is plus 130. I'm not too sure I'd be looking at those odds to touch them because you don't know what Doucher looks like at middleweight. You don't know how the weight cut affects him. Perez could just outwork him if he fights smart. I feel like he hasn't got the fight IQ. Chiesa looks absolutely huge through, though, next to Felder. He does. I'm not saying he doesn't. He's a tall fighter. Magny's tall, though. I've met Magny. Magny's a big dude. Like, for welterweight, like, I'm looking up to him. And I made welterweight twice in my life, and that killed me to get to welterweight. So that dude's a big guy, you know. Let's not forget you got to remember the range difference between these two guys is huge. Magny's got a massive range. It's nuts. The range that he's got is insane. I wish a lot of fighters probably wish they had that kind of, you know, range that Magny has. Maybe Magny doesn't use it as well as he should. I'm not saying he's bad at it, but an 80-inch range for Magny, and he's 6'3". Great. That's a great kind of stat. 6'1" for Chiesa, who's perfect for that kind of thing, and his reach is 75. So it's a 5-inch reach advantage straight away for Neil Magny, as well as being taller. So he is still a taller, bigger guy. And again, Paul Felder, he's a lightweight, but it's hard cut for Felder. Like, I've seen Felder's cuts. I was there in person. It was a rough cut. Back to the odds, guys. You've got Mike Davies, who's minus 188, and Mason Jones plus 172. They maybe see there based on Mike Davies. Wrestler might be there. I'm not sure why that is, but I think it's a bit closer than that. It's a tough fight for Mason Jones. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's an easy outing. Tyson Nam is only minus 122 against Matt Schnell, who's plus 115. They maybe see that maybe Nam isn't the best in the flyweight division, and that's possibly why. Let's see here. So, there we go. I'm sorry, guys. Do you know what? I've not put any of these up. I apologize for not popping these comments up. I will get in the habit of this. I'm using StreamYard for the first couple of times, and usually I read the comments, but I forget to post them up onto there. So I'll get used to this, guys and girls. We'll have a bit more fun with it in future. Rivera against Francisco. You've got here. Let's see, Rivera minus 110. It's a pick 'em. Yeah, it's a pick 'em fight between these three guys, those two guys. So I'd avoid it as well. I don't think it's too much. Ricky Simone minus 323. Pirello's plus 270. Simone all day. It's not even worth even touching that. Now, here we go. These are some odds. Holly Alves is plus 180, and Lazie is minus 200. Man, that is dead on. I think you've got a parlay piece there. Maybe you could use Lazie with someone of a parlay piece. Lerone Murphy into Silva. It looks like heavy favorite for Lerone Murphy here, minus 275. De Silva plus 230. I agree with that 100%, but it's a big gap there. It's a big difference. Modafferi is being wrote off in this fight. Roxanne Modafferi is plus 285 against Vivian, who is minus 330. I think that's a bit harsh. I know Roxanne Modafferi isn't the best, but I think that's a bit of a heavy difference there. I would question that one. Ike against Vinicius. Ike's minus 135 and Vinicius is minus plus 120. It is a horrible bet. I would avoid it because I don't believe in either of them. And the... Oh, no. Here we go. So, yeah. So, you've got... And the main event, plus 120 for Michael Chiesa and minus 135. So, that's turned into really more or less a pick 'em. You know, there's not much in them. I don't see much going on there. Oh, just my 2 cents. Hi, brother. I hope, hey, look, your stream was on last night. I was not free to watch it. I just popped on Twitter to look for any fight things. I hope the stream went well, my friend. I will probably jump in. What was it today? It's Thursday, so I might actually jump in tomorrow and have a look at it. But look, I hope the stream went well and everything good with your picks. I've just done the picks, my friend. I'll be posting this podcast, stopping the stream shortly. I've just went over the bets. Will isn't here, just my 2 cents only because just work, mate, with him, and COVID's really messed up his shifts with him and his missus. So he's not able to do these 2 cards, the free card week. He's not able to do the first 2. The Poirier McGregor card, we might be able to do it on Sunday and Monday. We're just weighing it up for now, and if we can get it in, we will jump in and get that in together because it just feels right when we're together. And like I say, bro, I'll jump in as soon as I can get onto it, man. like I say, guys and girls, that is the bets. That is the picks. As always, hit the like. Comment on your picks, who you're looking for in the fight card, what you're looking forward to. Hit subscribe button if you're new. I love you all. Keep safe, all right? I know COVID's a motherfucker. Apparently the jabs are out now. People's getting jabs, hopefully. Next year, there'll be none of this stuff, and we can all have a nice year. But for now, take care. Keep safe. Lots of love. I love you all.